With Kevin Garnett getting his number retired next season by the Celtics, it got me thinking that there's probably a good handful of legends that won't get their numbers retired. There's probably a handful of long-tenured role players that deserve number retirements, but I want to focus on Hall of Famers or future Hall of Famers since it's more rare for their numbers to not get retired. So without further ado, in no particular order, these are 7 NBA legends that probably won't get their numbers retired. The first player I have on this list is Ray Allen. One of the top 3 best shooters in NBA history, Ray Allen was one of the best players in the league during his prime. He made 10 All-Star teams and 2 All-NBA spots in an era with really good guards. Unfortunately, he'll probably never have his number retired by any team that he played for. Ray made a name for himself on the Bucks early on. He garnered his first All-NBA spot and first All-Star appearances on the Bucks, where he helped get them to the Eastern Conference Finals before they lost to the Sixers in 7 games in 2001. Although Ray had some success with the Bucks, he didn't really stay there long enough, nor did he achieve enough for his number to get retired. On top of that, Giannis wears 34 now, meaning there's no chance Ray gets it retired while Giannis is still wearing it. Moving to his time with the Sonics, obviously he can't get it retired with that team since the team doesn't exist anymore, and he didn't play there long enough anyways since he only lasted about 4 seasons there. Then there's the Celtics. The tension between Ray and his former Celtic running mates was at an all-time high a few years ago, and I think the general consensus around the organization and the former players is that Ray snaked them out for going to their biggest rivals at the time in the Miami Heat. Even though Ray was a huge piece in helping the Celtics win a championship, leaving to Miami after they knocked them out of the playoffs is definitely a black mark on his time with the Celtics. Unless the remaining members of the 2008 Celtics core and the Celtics organization are willing to move past it, Ray's number will likely remain unretired. Next up, we have Gary Payton. One of the greatest point guards of all time, Gary may be the best player out of the players on this list. Unfortunately, he probably won't get his number retired anytime soon. As a lot of you guys know, Payton spent the majority of his career with the Seattle Supersonics, but they no longer exist, so the chances of him getting his number retired is incredibly slim unless the team comes back in the near future. I know putting him on this list is kinda cheating since the team doesn't exist anymore, but if we take a look at the other teams Gary played for, he doesn't seem to have much of a chance of getting his number retired anywhere. Payton was traded from the Sonics to the Bucks in 2003 after he was at odds with ownership at the time in a trade package that included Ray Allen. Payton only played 28 games with the Bucks, and they didn't get past the first round, so there's no chance he gets his number retired there. He eventually tried to ring chase by joining the infamous 2004 Lakers with Shaq, Kobe, and Karl Malone. That team flamed out in the finals against a great Detroit team, and Payton got traded from there to the Celtics in the offseason. Both his Laker and Celtic tenures were incredibly short with hardly any success, so no chance he gets retired by any of them either. The only other case would have been the Heat since he won a title there, but once again, it was too short and his role wasn't big enough in the success for the team. For these many reasons, Gary Payton will likely never have his jersey retired, or at least until the Supersonics return. Moving forward, we have Tracy McGrady. In his prime, Tracy McGrady was easily one of the best players in the league before he started dealing with serious injuries. McGrady had an overall great career, even though his postseason success was pretty lackluster, but unfortunately, he probably won't get his number retired by any of the teams he's played for. I'm going to start by knocking out the teams that he didn't play with for more than 2 seasons, so his time with the Knicks, Pistons, Hawks, and Spurs are already out of question. He was pretty much past his prime when he played for those teams, and he didn't really accomplish anything with those teams either. That leaves the Raptors, the Magic, and the Rockets. Let's start with Toronto. McGrady started his career in Toronto, where he showed the makings of a young superstar. McGrady was really raw in Toronto, and was in the shadow of Vince Carter too much for him to get true recognition. He only spent about 3 seasons there, and the team had little success while he was there, only making the playoffs once where they got swept by the Knicks. He helped usher in basketball in Toronto, but there's absolutely zero chance his jersey gets retired there. So then we have just Houston and Orlando. Immediately, there's zero chance he gets his number retired by the Magic because they straight up don't retire numbers. They have their own Hall of Fame for their great and legendary players, but no real jersey retirements. He is in the Orlando Magic Hall of Fame, so that's the closest thing he can get to a retired jersey with the Magic, so nevertheless, he won't get his number retired there. So then there's Houston. McGrady's Houston years were fairly up and down, but once again, McGrady failed to make it past the first round. Persistent injuries to Yao Ming and T-Mac were likely the main reasons that the Rockets could never get over the hump when McGrady was on the team. But nevertheless, the Rockets would have been likely the best shot at a jersey retirement for McGrady. He played there for 6 seasons, but missed a good amount of time with injuries while also experiencing basically no postseason success. For these many reasons, McGrady will probably never get his jersey retired anywhere. Next on the list, we have Dwight Howard. One of the best centers in NBA history, one of the most disrespected future Hall of Famers, Dwight Howard had an amazing early NBA career, but unfortunately, he likely will not get his jersey retired anywhere. Dwight is one of the biggest journeymen in the NBA, having played for 6 teams in 16 seasons. I think right away we can knock off his time with the Hawks, Hornets, Wizards, Rockets, and Lakers. He was okay on the Rockets and still managed to be an all-star there, but he didn't have any playoff success there, nor did he stay there long enough. With the Magic, I'd argue Dwight is the best player in the history of the Orlando Magic organization, based on achievements and longevity. He did spend 8 years there and led the team to the finals at the age of 23, but like I said before, the Magic don't retire numbers for whatever reason, so Dwight won't get it retired in Orlando. His achievements there would absolutely warrant getting his jersey retired, but I do think he'll eventually get put into the Orlando Magic Hall of Fame, which is about the closest thing to a jersey retirement he'll get from the Magic. The 4th guy I have on this list is Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony is one of the most disrespected future Hall of Famers in the league. The 2 teams Melo has a good chance of getting his number retired with are the Knicks and the Nuggets. I'll start with the Knicks. Melo was a Knick for 6 years, where he made multiple All-Star teams and had multiple All-NBA appearances, but that was met with very little playoff success. The Knicks only had 1 playoff appearance during Melo's time there, with many of those seasons being sub-35 win teams. Of the players that have gotten their numbers retired by the Knicks, all of them had significantly more success than Melo. Patrick Ewing is the last player the Knicks have retired, and he's arguably the greatest Knick of all time, so the standard of jersey retirement for the Knicks is just really high, and it's a height I can't see Melo reaching. As for the Nuggets, Melo had a lot more success in the playoffs there than with the Knicks. The Nuggets made the playoffs every year while Melo was there, and they even got as far as the conference finals during one of those seasons. I'd say the Nuggets are the best shot for Carmelo Anthony to get his jersey retired, but Nikola Jokic wears his number now. Jokic has been an MVP candidate for the Nuggets, and it seems like if he stays there long enough with continued success, they may just retire Jokic over Melo. There's a chance they retire both number 15s like the Knicks have done, but it's tough to say. As of now, Melo won't get his number retired by the Knicks until Jokic either leaves or retires. Even then, I think Jokic would get it retired over Melo in that case. Up next, we have the greatest dunker in NBA history, none other than Vince Carter. Vince became a journeyman in the later years of his NBA career, but he was exceptional in his first few years in the league. The 2 teams he has the best chance of getting his number retired with are the Raptors and the Nets. Let's start with the Raptors. Air Canada, Vinsanity. Toronto was the place where Vince really established himself and his name as a star. Vince was beloved in Toronto and all of Canada for really putting Toronto on the map basketball-wise and inspiring young hoopers in Canada. With all the good, the whole situation wasn't perfect. There were controversies like Carter going to his graduation the same day as Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinals, and Carter's relationship with ownership was getting rocky in his last few years there. Carter did the organization really dirty when he chose to quit on the team and intentionally play poorly so they'd trade him. He gave up during games and told the other team what plays the Raptors were running. As soon as he was traded, he started playing at an all-star level again. A lot of Raptors fans can't forgive Vince for the way he forced himself out of the team, while also setting the team back from progress as an organization. As great as Carter was here, it's tough to say if things are going to get fully patched up, and whether Carter is truly deserving of getting his number retired with the Raptors. Carter experienced significantly more success with the Nets than he did with the Raptors as a team. Carter averaged 20 points every year he was with the Nets, and they managed to make the playoffs for the majority of the seasons he was there, with a few second-round appearances as well. Although the Nets had a decent amount of playoff success with Carter there, I don't think the team achieved enough, nor did Carter have any significant individual achievements that would warrant getting his jersey retired there either. With that being said, as of right now, I can't see Vince Carter getting his jersey retired by any of those 2 teams. And lastly, I have Grant Hill. Grant Hill was one of the best players in the league before injuries derailed his career. He managed to still make the Hall of Fame with his achievements, but will he get his jersey retired anywhere? The first choice would be Detroit, He started his career there, made the All-Star team as a rookie, and won Rookie of the Year, but the team never got out of the first round while he was there either. When Hill was given the option to stay in free agency, he chose to go to Orlando instead of staying with Detroit. Not to mention, Detroit has retired 11 jerseys already, and I can't see them retiring Hill's jersey anytime soon. With the Orlando Magic, Hill had more playoff success there than he did with Detroit, but like I said before, the Magic don't retire numbers. Hill's already in the Magic Hall of Fame, but in terms of actually getting his jersey in the rafters, it's just not going to happen with the Magic based on their own rules. That leaves Phoenix. Hill only made the playoffs twice with the Suns, and the furthest they got was a hard-fought Western Conference Finals showdown with the Lakers in 2010. Hill was at the tail end of his career, and although the numbers were decent for his role, the team did not have enough success while he was there for the Suns to warrant retiring his jersey. He was never an All-Star there, and he spent most of his late 30s on the team as well. For those many reasons, Grant Hill will likely never get his jersey retired anywhere. So those are 7 NBA legends that likely won't get their jerseys retired by any team in the league. Any surprises? Do you guys think these guys will wind up getting their jerseys retired anytime soon? Comment your thoughts down below. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Just in case the party gets rowdy, I brought my crew. I don't mind if y'all wanna fight me, just don't shoot. I see you got on all this